What is going on, students? Stephen Cassidy, aka The Scholar, and yes, I am back finally with another video. We're going to be kind of getting into BCS prep. I know one of the Canadian BCSs is happening this weekend at the time of this recording, and this is going to be out on the Monday, so it is Monday right after fresh off these BCS results, so it's still very early into the season, and we're going to be talking about Nectar Premium, how History Collection kind of changed it, and kind of what this deck can look like for the competitive season. So if you guys are very much so Nectar fans, this is definitely like a BCS analysis for you all, and so that way you guys can take one of a very fun green clan, and hopefully you can snag your top with it. But before we get into this whole entire process, I got two very special sponsors to shout out for today's video. First, we're going to talk about Kingslayer cards. You can't talk about cardboard if you don't have it. So please go shop with them. Use the promo code SCHOLAR, save 5% off. They have their pre-orders that they're getting ready to get out. Set 11's coming up for standard, so get ready for that. Then we're going to have set 12 and other things coming. And go shop with singles for them on TCG Play. They're fantastic, and they are just willing to support you. And then you see this beautiful playmat. Yes, Dank Ritual has come in and helped me to stay on top of some of the best products and best accessories for trading card games. They have beautiful mats, and they just actually released a new pre-order for the Royal Red collection for their Covenant collection on their site. Go pre-order that. It's absolutely a beautiful playmat, and I'd like to thank them again for keeping me looking fresh while I play some of my favorite games. But you guys aren't here to me to talk about that. You guys are here to watch and talk about this deck profile, so let's get into it. So we're going to start with the main deck. Main deck, of course, this is what I would play. We're going to talk about different options near kind of the end of the video, and we're going to go a little bit over some combo lines and things like that, so you guys truly understand like where the strengths of Nectar lie going forward, and just different parts like that. So let's hit it. One V starter. So the reason we still play the V starter is like kind of important. It's like a +3 when going second, so you're not like put at a disadvantage if you're not going first to do the high roll. It's a draw 3, so you get the quick shield, the guardian ticket or the guardian shield, and draw, and that's perfect. That's what you want. So that way you're not like losing hard on card advantage, because this deck does have some drawing card issues, which I'm perfectly fine with kind of like accepting that we're not going to have. In terms of the grade 3, we want to play Enos defensive. So Enos here is a perfect card. She says that when placed, you can counterblast one, soul blast one. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck and you call one of those units to rearguard circle. And then if you have a unit with a shared name on the board, you get to draw a card. But that's not where her strength lies. Her strength truly lies in that when another rearguard is placed by a card ability, she gets 5k, and that includes your tokens. So you can do some very funny defensive plays inside this deck to buff her during your opponent's turn with the Rain Breath Dragon G-Guard, and she's just absolutely perfect. But yeah, she's the ride that we kind of focused in on, and this list is going to look like kind of stock, but we can definitely go into other options and things that you can play. But yes, we're playing for the Enos. And then we're also playing for just kind of like a follow-up secondary ride, because we really want this Force 2 marker. Is we're playing 2 copies of Maiden of Stampione. So Stampione is on place Vanguard. You get to call 2 plant tokens, or a call on a rear guard, you play 1. So she's a good extender. She just like, it's about making tokens, because you want enough like token generators inside the deck to where like you're able to plus off Cyclone, and sometimes like in the Narukami matchup, you want to end on 2 plant tokens in the front row, so that way your bind zone's not going up when you're playing against Eradicator or Vanquisher, or like the hybrid of both. That's going to probably pop up this BCS season according to my predictions. Again, we have no results yet from the Canadian BCS that happened this past weekend, but it's okay because I will be on that in future videos, so don't worry about that. But 2 Maiden Stampione, good card, good follow-up secondary ride. And then we are playing the 2 copies of the Thunder Elemental Bear again, so we are playing the Superior Ride. I think the Superior Ride right now in a best of 1 format is absolutely broken. 2 Cyclones faced up into your first Katrina stride is very, very, very strong, and that you can't kind of do better than that. So it's perfect to play. You definitely want the 2 bear again. Also, when it's placed, you can look at the top 7, look for a vanilla unit. Does not impactful too much in my list, but you still kind of want that flexibility if you so choose. But that's going to do it for the grade 3s. It's just pretty stock list. Like there's nothing like here that's too out of the ordinary. You could place a different couple things like inside here for the Peony package, but like if I miss this, I would just rather get more plant tokens, like even if I had to miss the Superior Ride straight up going second. So that's how I just kind of look at that. So definitely multiple options though. For the grade 2s, like we're saying, we're playing for the Vanilla Ride package, so we are playing for the Morarch. Morarch, if you guys do not know, that this card is the busted one. So if you have a 4 or more no ability units, so like 4 or more tokens, or like 3 tokens in a vanilla trigger or whatever, you're able to CB1, ride the grade 3 Barragan from deck, and then flip a Cyclone face up, which is huge because if you have tokens on the board, those are going to get immediately plus. So like your grade 3 aggro turn, pretty strong. Then you get to follow that up with a Katrina with 2 Cyclones face up. So the card value here is insane. There are some matchups too where like you may just want to turn on the G guard, you're at low enough damage, and you just want the second Cyclone face up. So like might as well do it. So yeah, so this card's still very good. Don't sleep on this card. There's reasons why, like in some like Neo Nectar matchups I play, I just seriously don't swing if I'm going second, because this card can just blow you out if you're not careful on the opposing side. 4 of arguably the card that like fixed the deck. So 4 Horticulture Elf. Horticulture Elf I went over in the last thing, but it's that Ride Fixer promo, and you're able to when it's boosted on swing, you get to call a plant token. So this like replaces Gladiolus in the deck, because Gladiolus had the problem where you weren't able to like actually like properly extend inside Katrina. Like you'd have to clone a unit, and you'd have to clone like a plant token caller to get the additional plant token. This just straight up calls a plant token, so you can have a plant token booster and just cycle whatever on the force to, like over here, which I'll go over in the combo. But it just lets you do that and extend properly while being on Katrina and Cyclone face up in the G zone. But the other cool thing is that like if you're missing this before you go into your grade 2 ride turn, you can pitch this to look for the Morarch, or you can pitch this to look for like a grade 1 plant token caller if you don't want to, if your opponent only gave you 1 CB and you want to obviously fire it for that for the axe skill. So yeah, this card's very good. This also helps you like not miss on grade 1. So like if you draw into this and you're still stuck on a grade 1, you can still like pitch this if necessary to find your grade 1 ride, so you don't have to G assist. So it's just very powerful. There's no reason you shouldn't play it. And then we're still being like pretty stock. 3 Sylvia, like there's no reason why you just really shouldn't play this card. It's a plant token on demand for no cost, and it's a 10k body. So yeah, you can't really get mad at like finding it. Plus it helps you if you do have like odd numbers, you're able just to get some plant tokens. Moving on into the grade 1s, playing 4 copies of Fruit Basket's Elf. This is Soul Blast 1. You call 2 tokens, and then if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you give those tokens 5k. This is still important because for 1 body, these generate 2 tokens, so then you only need to find like another one of these or the next card that we're playing to like get your Morarchs online. And that next card, of course, is 3 copies of the Burrow Mushrooms. We only play 3 of this because it's a 5k. We don't like want too many, but the very cool thing is it goes into Soul, so it definitely pays for the cost of the Fruit Baskets, which is really important. Like we love seeing that in terms of just being able to get like raw power over and over again, just to skip free like 2 cards plus Morarch. Superior Ride is very strong. Next, we have 3 copies of the Carpet Maiden. Maiden of Flower Carpet. When it's placed, it's a token, but the cool thing is like in the Mega Colony matchups and things, like you can stack 2 plant tokens after your Katrina combo and grab it back from drop. It's a hard named once per turn though, so you can't like multiply do it over and over again, but it's still very important that you like need this because it is like a source of card advantage for the deck. 2 of the Ruth. Ruth is when placed on Vanguard Circle, you can call 1 plant token, but if you're going second and your opponent rode, you get to call 2 plant tokens. So going second, riding into this card, you can go, cool, 2 plant tokens, Guardian Shield, Quick Shield, draw a card. Like +5 going second with this card. This card's crazy. Going second. So if you have to ride it, you have to ride it, and it doesn't hurt you at all because then you only have to find one of these in a Morarch if you're going second to do that. So definitely potential there. And then I'm playing 2 copies of Cherry Blossom, Blizzard Maiden, Loga. Loga, I still like stress that I think this card's very good. You're able to call 2 from deck and bounce them both to hand for 1 CB, so like it's searchable PGs. And I don't like Elementaria actually in this deck because you need units like to call. So wanting to deck thin actually, like calling an Elementaria just feels bad. Calling these and being able to bounce them to hand, it feels great. It's 2 PGs to hand. You can't ask for really much more. And you just want to be able to deck thin constantly with Katrina. Like if you do go into like some weird like grind game where you're not being able to like over the top extend, it's still very important that you get that to your plays. But Loga again is fine. Definitely can play her. Perfect stuff. Then for the trigger lineup, 4 Stride Crit, because striding is good, getting into Katrina is good. 3 of the new Flower Garden Maiden Millis. So Millis is only cares about like having a Ranunculus Vanguard, which you're really never gonna have, because we're not playing Asha in the deck. But the cool thing is that when this is checked defensively, it draws you a card, so you get to play pseudo like a bunch of extra defensives, and that's like the great thing is that you get to play extra defensive draws, but you still get to maintain the aggro offensively of hitting crits. So this is why I like this a lot. Definitely 2. And then I play 2 of the Daniel vanilla crit. The reason you play this inside the deck is because you don't want to necessarily miss out. Like if you have a Sylvia and a like a burrow mushrooms that gets you only 3 vanillas, then you can like miss out on one, which feels bad. Which definitely we can discuss about like the ratios of the vanillas more. But then going on into other triggers, 2 draw PGs. Drawing cards is good and finding PGs are good, so why not have them 2 in 1 card? Definitely want to play those. I play 4 Heal Guardians because believe it or not, like these cards are insanely important in this format. There's like decks like Victor, Yasuye, but Mirakumo, Nova Grappler, other decks that just like to really just like rush you out of the water. This helps. This helps because we're not playing Rollick. Other decks get to play like have the benefit of playing Rollick, so you don't get to do that. Also, like Grand Blue can like just randomly high roll you in all of our testing, and so can Gold Paladin. So there's definitely a bunch of like different decks that can do a lot of things with the new History Collection upgrades. And since we're not playing it because there's no like real benefit to playing Asha inside the new format, that's why we just want the 4 Heal Guardians. But like you're able to do some things, and then of course we play actually the red over trigger. So this is the first deck profile where the red over trigger has come up, so I'm definitely going to go over this card. So this not only being an OT, it's a 100 million draw card, but its additional effect is when it's checked offensively, you get to choose one of your stood units and it gets to swing twice, and you can give it the 100 million. So the very cool thing about this is this is always live after Katrina, because Katrina's going to call things a stood. So as long as you're not playing in a dark face and other things like that, can just straight up rest your units. This drive check can like just like be like, oh cool, I call I have a plant token. Oh sick, I get to swing it twice on like the force 2. It's just crazy. And then you get to like extend over if you have like another horticulture elf or whatever. But if you don't have any stood, like if you check this early, you can just call a card from hand and do that. But it's still very good. You definitely like that effect. You can just give that card the 100 million. But going over, yeah, that's like the main deck. Going over, like it's like very stock. Like I know Alex CFV did like the similar list on his channel. Vancol 40 did. Like this is just very like across the Neo Nectar community. This list and engine is very staple, but it's like very stable, if that makes sense. So you're able to go pretty crazy. For the G zone, it's pretty light. So 3 Katrina, like this is your bread and butter card. This getting unbanned and this being the first time it's back in singles is a lot of fun. So we really love it. And then we're also playing 3 Cyclone to go along with it. This is just buffs your plant tokens by 5k for those who don't know while it's face up in the G zone. So yeah, we love Cycloned. Finally got to get back to my SGR playset because I was away in college. So no, I did not buy these and upgrade these. I had these when these were $5 and then they spiked again. So yay, go me. We're playing 2 copies of the Ladislava. Ladislava's pretty good. She helps you in your Mega Colony matchups again. Like she's like really important. Like she can find you cards from deck that you can call and do some things. So like she tries to help, but like the Mega Colony is such like a rough matchup for this deck because you can't call tokens. They can shut you down on your restanders. They can just do all this stuff. So like the Mega Colony is pretty much like an auto loss for this deck, but like we can try, right? But like when in doubt, you're just striding Katrina just to go over the top and extend. Then we have one Sandrine. Sandrine is just a free stride. You can CB1 retire 2 tokens. So like in the Mega Colony matchup, again, like if you ride but you have no stride fodder, you can just kill the 2 tokens if you're able to get a Katrina turn in and just do it like that. And it gets 10k in a crit, so why not? But then, of course, you know you love them. One Harmonix Messiah. Messiah is like actually gross. This card lets you essentially going second. You can reveal it when your unit's placed on a grade 1 going grade 0. If you went second, so this doesn't check your opponent's Vanguard. This straight up says if you go second, you get the 20k Guardian ticket, which is absolutely crazy. This card right here, 20k Blitz Order. Shame that there's no SP or anything for it because I'd have it, but then again, I'd also have the SP for this. If you do have an SP, hit me up. I want it because I want to keep my Great Nature G Zone like as high rarity as possible. But that is that for the strides. You really don't like need it, because you already have a good enough Link Joker matchup anyway. Like, you can flip this if your opponent's going to damage deny you, but then again, you really don't need CB a lot for all of your combos, because your grade 1 Musketeer is going to countercharge you from deck, like off Katrina. So it is free, it's just free countercharge at that point. So like, we really only have this in here to go second, to just get the shield, because yes, I'd pay $80 to get a free 20k shield all the time, all day, every day. Into G Guardians, to Rain Breath Dragon. This calls a card from your hand to Rearguard Circle, which will proc Enos. And then if it's a plant token caller, you can call another card. Or if you have a face-up CB, you can call an Enos, and then call a plant token, call a thing. So that's 15k to the Vanguard Enos, and then 10k to the other Enos. So very strong, just very good in general, and also really good actually in like the Eradicator matchup, to where you like this combo can turn off their Cho-Os, because like they can swing, have your front row like gone, and then during their Vanguard swing, you do this to turn off their Cho-Os, which is really powerful. And then we play 2 of the new G-Guard Flower Princess of Dedication, Robertina. She puts 2 cards from your drop zone, 2 normal units, back to the bottom of your deck with the same card name. And if you put 2, you can countercharge 1, and the unit gets she gets plus 15,000 shield. So she's a 30k shield, which is good. And then we have Ontero, and Ontero's a 35k, or can get up to 35k. So Soul Blast 1, it gets 5k, so it becomes 20. But then if you have 4 or more rear guards, or 1 or less, he gets 15. So this card's perfect. If you have a board, most of the time you will, unless you're playing against those like retire-centric matchups, you'll have it. But yeah, that is the G-Zone for Nectar. So now for like the changes, right? We see the list and we know like everything that can go on, but like we have new history collection things, right? So what's kind of like the benefit to that? So we do have, of course, the new package with old Asha and the new Stride. So for those that don't know, the Flip Stride does. It lets you essentially, like, when the attack hits, you can choose one of your rear guards, and you search up your deck for the same card name, and you call it to Rearguard Circle, and it gets 5k. So that's why, like, it just extends more copy names. But, like, copy names is really not what we want, because, like, of the engine we play. If we were playing a non-Superior Ride version, then these cards could definitely, like, come in, because you're playing more, like, of the plant girls that lets you, like, the Flower Maiden, like, sacks a plant token and draws you a card. Like, that card's really good. But there's just no options for Asha to come up either, just because her skill is CB1. During the Stride, you CB1 and search for another. And since you're not getting like XL markers or other things, these cards are just kind of meh. And so you don't really get your full benefit value out of them. Even though like the 2 force markers are great, most of the time you go force 1 when you're doing that. But then like Katrina wants to be on force 2 because she just gets everything so big. So that's why we're not really on the new Asha package. But you could be, very much for sure, if you really wanted to. I just don't see the benefit in that, quite being honest. So this is why I'm omitting it from this deck list in particular. And then I have 4 of the Maiden of Sweetberry. I saw a lot of people playing this in their list because it's another plant token generator. I just don't like the fact it makes you soul charge, because then you can soul charge into triggers. Even though the 13k does come up sometimes, the fact that like you're being forced to soul charge and just like put away like triggers in, because you're deck thinning so much, just like feels bad. So I just rather hit the triggers than like have another like token generator, because most of the time you're gonna have like your Carpet Maidens and stuff in deck anyway. So that's why I didn't see the point for Sweetberry. And then like I'm gonna go just flare out the triggers real quick, because like there are some changes where you could change the trigger lineup if you wanted a little more consistency in your vanillas, right? Because again, like you don't want to miss out your Superior Ride ability. So like again, I have like an extra Daniel and an extra heal. So like if you really wanted to and like you felt safe, you could do like a 3-1 split where you're playing this, and like if you even missed, if you hit the Superior Ride, you can Soul Blast the 7 and like maybe like sack into this, so you have a Heal Guardian for or for like a G Guard for next turn. Or you could cut one of these to make it another vanilla crit, if you're not too worried about the defensive draw. But those are some options there, of course, that if you really wanted to change the list in like terms of trigger ratios, you absolutely could. But that's not why we are here. We are here for a combo, which I will be getting into now. So now let's say that we have the good old setup, right, for your combo. So we've Superior Road, and we've gotten all the plant token goodness that we necessarily want. And so this is how we are going to do it. You only really need 3 cards in hand: some way to Stride, an Enos, and a Horticulture Elf for your maximum combo play of what I typically do with my Stride turns. So of course you're going to ride it in the Enos, and if you only have the 1 CB, I elect not actually to do the skill. There's no really benefit for you doing the skill for this combo, because if you want to maximize aggro, you can. We do grab a Force 2, and we put that on the on a rearguard circle. So cool. Now our plant tokens are huge. We go to Stride, pitching that for Stride cost, and we're going to go and hit a Katrina, and the Katrina is going to flip up our second Cyclone. So now, boom, we have plus 20k to our plant tokens automatically, and we get to call another plant token here to the back row rearguard circle. So boom, now we call that there. We feel pretty confident in what we're able to do. So now I'm going to retire this plant token to call the Horticulture Elf. The Horticulture Elf is going to give us another attack. So now we're going to show you kind of like the extend progression patterns. So we're going to swing all of our plant tokens, so that way we just know have an additional 20k. We can put kind of here in the center just to remind us that all of our plant tokens have 20. So we will swing here with 25 to crit. Our opponent can guard or not. We'll swing with the Horticulture Elf. CB1, since it's boosted, call another plant token, but instead now this plant token gets 5k off the Horticulture skill. Now you're able to, then this is 35. You now will swing 20, 25, 50, 55 to crit. And then you will swing Katrina. So this is now 4 attacks. This is your 4th attack. You'll activate Katrina's skill to call up to 4 cards from deck, which we will. You will go grab an Enos. Go grab an Horticulture Elf. Go grab a Carpet Maiden. And you will go grab a Ruth. You can go. These retire. This retires that. And this Horticulture goes to the drop zone. Then you are able to essentially then activate the following. So the Ruth retires, the Enos sees all 15. 15,000 power. Then the Carpet Maiden will call another plant token while this is countercharged. And yeah, just like that, cool. Enos is now 20. Your triple drive, none of this really matters. Heal trigger, Fruit Basket Self, yeah, sure. And then you set that up all again. So then you can swing 33 to crit with your Enos. Then you swing again another 35, calling a plant token back with 5k. And you swing another 33 to crit. So all of your swings going first, as you saw, were like over 2 defensives. Every swing was over 2 defensives in terms of power, except for your first plant token swing, which was over a defensive. So and it was over, and it had to be a 2-card guard actually, because or if they had a 20k shield. But yeah, it was a 2-card guard or a heal guardian that they had to do in order to like defend against that attack. So yeah, that's why the double cyclone is crazy. You get so much like raw value. But then again, you saw like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attacks. 7 attacks that were very, very strong. So and you generate most of this board for free. So like that's the power of essentially like Katrina, just being able to do this very consistently. And then like of course like the next ride, like if you're able to ride again so I can get a second Force 2 marker, then you can just threaten crits for the rest of the game. But yeah, that is pretty much the deck profile and the explanation. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this kind of helped you explore a little bit of what like Nectar is capable of this BCS season. There's just a couple other builds that I'm not like the most favorite with. I know the Grandjoral Dragon just is not able to abuse this as easily, and you're not really trying to grade 2 game this format anymore. Like the grade 2 game only applies now to very certain decks. So you're not really trying to do that.
it's just not in your favor, your advantage. So that's why we're more than happy just to superior ride, try to cheat up and just go. So that's why I'm not playing like the Grandjora list, and I think that Musketeers is a little too piece reliant for this format. So like just go and grab value. All these cards are super value, so there's no reason why you shouldn't be playing these. But make sure you guys, like, comment, subscribe, do all that amazing stuff. I hope you all are having a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week. Make sure you go shop with Kingslayer cards. Use the promo code SCHOLAR, save 5% off, and go again. Shop with Thank Ritual. They got new pre-orders up, and they, of course, always got beautiful things. I mean, like, look at this dice tray. Look at this mat. And look at this deck box, man. Like, oh, you can't tell me that ain't sick with, the artwork inside. Oh, beautiful stuff. But I love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful rest of your week. And until next time, take care.